It is a Wednesday afternoon, time for a little midweek day baseball at Minute Maid Park in downtown Houston. Today, the Astros wrap up a three-game series against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Angels winning the first two games of this series, 2-0 on Monday, 8-7 last night. In the process, the Angels moving into first place in the AL West. Astros coming in at 16-9, the exact same record they had after 25 games last year. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. It's been a little back and forth this year in the AL West. The Astros passing the Angels last week, and now Los Angeles returning the favor. It would be nice to get out of this series with a win.
Yeah, they're not going to win this series, obviously, but it would be nice to salvage that win. Go into the off day with a little bit better feeling, but it's pretty impressive how the Angels have come in here and pretty much announced that they're going to compete for the AL West.
It has been a pretty impressive show from Mike Scioscia's group, but today they face a guy who had a lot of success against them last year.
Yeah, this guy's been pretty good, especially in that Astros uniform, but in 3 starts versus the Angels last year, that 2-1 record, the sub-2 ERA, only 3 hits per 9 innings. Pretty phenomenal stuff coming in, but what he did as an Astro against those Angels is even better. 2-0, did not give up a run in 15 innings pitched against these Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. It'll be interesting to see if he goes to that changeup and that curveball a little more frequently. That's what we saw him get a lot of strikeouts against these Angels with.
Not only did he fare well against them, they only had 2 hits in those starts, and with those numbers added in, you see that all the guys that have at least 10 at-bats and even guys with 20 at-bats, not many have success.
Yeah, they may have connected a couple times like Mike Trout has for a home run or 2, but the overall damage is not there. So I would imagine that Verlander will stick with that same game plan that he's had against these guys until they figure him out.
We'll have more as we continue on this Wednesday afternoon. When we come back, we'll tell you about a couple of moves in the lineup that have really paid off for A.J. Hinch. ERA leader in the American League. Last night it was Charlie Morton. Tonight, Justin Verlander, as Verlander will try and pick up a victory for the Astros. Game number 6 of the season for JV, starting for Houston. When we look at this lineup for the Houston Astros,
You look at him.
Carlos Correa has moved up to that 3 spot, and it's really paid dividends. He has hit well in that spot.
And you know that anywhere you put Carlos Correa, he's going to put up phenomenal numbers. Now you've got Springer, Altuve, Correa, arguably the 3 best hitters in this lineup for the Houston Astros. And I think that's the way AJ is watching his lineup. He wants to have those 3 guys get as many ABs in a game as they possibly can. And that's why they're at the top of the order. It's no knock about against anybody behind it, but it really puts him in a situation where that starting pitcher has to go out and bring his A game, and Carlos Correa has brought that A game in those last 8 games, scoring 6 runs and driving in 7.
Correa was batting 4th in the lineup, but because Alex Bregman moved down from 2, he now is hitting 3rd. But Alex, since moving down, no player does more, presented by HEB, and that's Alex Bregman.
Yeah, and he's been getting it done, and I appreciate the fact that he's gone out there and done some work. It's an interesting spot to have him, because moving out of that 2 hole, now he's moving into more of an RBI type situation, which is good to see. The numbers jumped, especially in that 6 hole, hitting about 429 in that 6 spot. It does take a little bit of pressure off him because he knows he doesn't have to get on base early in ball games, but it's also a little more pressure because of the RBIs.
We've seen some good swings from Bregman lately, and when we come back, it'll be time for Justin Verlander to take the mound. A little afternoon baseball on a Wednesday from Minute Maid Park, right around the corner. On AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Try the new Cholula Butter Jack, part of the Buttery Jack family. And by Shoppers John Deere, your local John Deere dealer with 8 area locations. Astros continue on this 11-day, 10-game homestand with game number 3. Tomorrow will be a much-needed off day. Astros playing 26 games in 27 days. That's their longest stretch of the season. And today they'll try and go for a victory behind their opening day starter, Justin Verlander.
He has taken over that ERA lead with that 1.10 ERA. Done a great job in those first 5 starts. He's done a great job going back his last 10 starts, especially in the regular season with the Houston Astros. Talk a little bit about the pitches that he is going to be bringing. Fastball, averaging 94.5 miles an hour on that. The batting average against that fastball is 158. The curveball has been excellent too. 188 average against that, and the slider at 143. It'll be interesting to me to see how often he uses that changeup. There's a lot of right-handed hitters in this lineup, so it may be a fastball slider night or afternoon for Justin Verlander.
This lineup is hitting 120 in their career against Verlander, and if you exclude the Hall of Famer Albert Pujols, they go down to 092 at 13 for 141. And here is that lineup that has struggled against Verlander throughout their career. Ian Kinsler leading things off. He will be followed by Mike Trout. Trout off to a really good start this season. Justin Upton got a couple of hits in last night's game. Albert Pujols, the one guy with decent numbers against Verlander. Not great, but 7 for 26. Then you have Andrelton Simmons in the 5 spot, coming off a career-high RBI game last night. Zach Cozart at third base. Made a fine defensive play to preserve that 8-7 lead. Luis Valbuena is going to play first base. Cole Calhoun is back in right field, and Rene Rivera gets his first start behind the plate in this series. Angels have won 11 in a row on the road. That's a new franchise mark, taking 2 out of 3 from the Astros in this series. They have not swept the Astros in Houston except for one other time in franchise history, and that was back in June of 2013.
Yeah, as a team, they are raking on the road. 296 batting average, 16 home runs, and their OPS up over 800.
So here we go with Verlander facing the Angels, and the first pitch is up and in, and Ian Kinsler tried to get out of the way, ended up fouling one back.
Well, get it ready early. A little bit of a wake-up call. I'm not sure how much coffee Ian Kinsler got, but he might be alert now. It's a heck of a way to get a strike. A little conversation going on. Wonder if they were friends back in Detroit.
Gary Cederstrom, the crew chief, out to clean up the plate, but that was
quote unquote.
Yeah. After the first pitch of the game, there was no need to brush the plate. So Cederstrom trying to diffuse whatever the situation may have been early.
Or he might have been asking, is there something I need to know about here, boys?
Kinsler playing with the Tigers from 14 through 17. Now back past Verlander. Now 2 base there. And Jose makes the play for out number 1.
Shiner Bach, spotlight. Ball's on. Trout and Simmons having themselves a heck of a series. As a ball club, the Angels only hitting 190 in the first 2 games against the Houston Astros, but damage is being done between Trout and Simmons. And oddly enough, Simmons is the guy with 2 home runs. They've scored 10 runs in this series, 6 of them being driven in by the tandem of Trout and Simmons.
Here is Mike Trout, near the top of every category so far this season, including leading the major leagues with 10 home runs. He has 4 home runs in his last 5 games and takes a called strike from Verlander. I was watching Kinsler after that ground ball, and he had a couple of words and Verlander back and forth. Could have been pleasantries.
Could have been, what's wrong? Where did we go wrong?
There's a ball in the right field. Josh Reddick a long run towards the line, and he now eases under it. And Trout is retired on 2 pitches. Ground out and a fly out to start this one. Starting defense presented by Xfinity. Here's what you have behind Justin Verlander today. Derek Fisher in left, George Springer in center. You just saw Josh Reddick make that play in right. Alex Bregman and Carlos Correa on the left side. Jose Altuve and Marwin Gonzalez with Yuli Gurriel DHing today on the right side. And for the first time in Justin Verlander's Astros career, he pitches to a catcher other than Brian McCann. Max Stassi getting the start today. Swing and a miss. McCann starting Monday night and Tuesday night. And Max Stassi catches Verlander in a regular season game for the first time. Broken bat as Upton fouls one out of play, and Verlander had 0-2.
I think Max slept it all last night.
I think this is probably pretty cool, even though he's been in the big leagues.
It's got to be like Christmas morning for him.
You know this guy's going to end up in the Hall of Fame more than likely.
And now he gets to tell everybody he caught him at least once. If he does a great job today, who knows? There might be more opportunities.
He's got a lot to live up to.
Very good point.
Because Verlander's numbers with Brian McCann are pretty much off the charts.
Regular or postseason.
He's got a 10-game regular season winning streak, 8 of those with the Astros.
Testing the upper part of the zone. Not the best breaking ball he has, but still catches plenty of the plate to get the call. Cederstrom, you said, been around a while. Maybe lays off that high strike.
Now 2-2 count to Upton. Verlander with 5 regular season starts last year to end the year and 5 more to start this year. Has a 1.08 ERA with McCann behind the plate.
You took it from me. I was going to say the same exact thing. It was good stuff.
Same wavelength early. It's a good thing.
Yep.
Upton sends one into the crowd on the right side. Justin Upton will be an Angel for a while. At least that's the plan. Signed a 5-year extension in the offseason. And this is a team, last year the Astros, as we mentioned, were at the same point after 25 games, 16-9. This year they're in second place. Last year at this point they were in first place. And they're in first place by 3 games, and that would quickly move to 8 games a month later, and they never really look back. This year it feels like it could be a little more of a challenge as Upton tries to hold up and he goes around as the Angels start the day in first place by a half game. Verlander a strong 1-2-3 start to this one. Springer will lead things off in center field. Jose Altuve will bat second and play second. Carlos Correa, we mentioned just a minute ago, hitting well in that 3 spot. Josh Reddick cleanup. Yuli Gurriel getting a DH day today. Alex Bregman hit 6 and plays third base. Marwin Gonzalez over at first base, batting 7th. Max Stassi behind the plate. And Derek Fisher, who hit the big home run in last night's game. One of the 2 big home runs, bats 9th.
Nick Tropiano is an ex-Astro now pitching for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Was out last season for 2016. He had the Tommy John surgery and 2 starts, 1-1 record. He came over to the Angels in the trade for catcher Carlos Perez and the infamous Conger bot.
So the Astros fans have him to thank for that. As Springer swings the first pitch and fouls one back, Rene Rivera gives it a look, but it's out of play. What would that 2015 season have been without the Conger bot?
It was impressive.
Springer with a 7-game hitting streak going. Oh, and 1 to Springer. Fouled back. Tropiano made his major league debut with the Astros. He's back after Tommy John surgery towards the end of 2016. Ended up missing all of last year. Made his first start with the Halos on April 12th this year. Said he was a little emotional after that start, after missing basically 21 months of baseball action.
Yeah, anytime you come back from injury, there's always going to be that mental hurdle to get over and realize that you're 100% can go full out. But it's got to be a little more daunting after fighting through Tommy John rehab.
Misses the Springer. It's 1-2 this season.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to give his repertoire. I keep trying to cut you off. It's a day game. I'm not awake yet. But Tropiano's fastball, split, change, curve, used to have a very good changeup. It seems he's kind of shifting over to that split finger a little bit. But he's usually been pretty effective against left-handed hitters with that fastball changeup combination.
Throws a lot of those breaking balls to righties. Split and change reserved a little more for lefty hitters. There's that slider that he throws 1 and 2. It misses. It's 2 and 2. Kind of a tweener between the slider and the curve. Most people call it a slider. George had a 3-hit game last night. Made a bid for a 4th hit that would have given the Astros the lead. Zach Cozart made a great play at third base to stop a rally and end up winning the game for the Angels 8-7. George sends one high and deep to left center field. Long run for Trout. He is back there on the track, makes the play in front of the wall. George didn't quite get that one, but hits it almost 400 feet.
Took a great pass at it. Might have been just a little bit off the end of the bat. Maybe got a little quick. Good pitch to hit. I don't know.
Well, they can't blame the wind.
Not today. You are right.
Roof is closed. They made that decision during batting practice today as the temperatures were expected to rise a little bit here in downtown Houston, so they closed the roof for the only time of the series. Here's Jose Altuve. Altuve takes a called strike. Altuve with the next at bat will have 100 on the season today, playing in his 499th career game at Minute Maid Park. It was 84 degrees at game time outside.
Yeah, we caught word that rumor has it outside the heat index getting to 90, therefore the roof has been closed. Haven't gotten a confirmation on an exact number, but I think once it gets over 85, they have a tendency to close the roof here at Minute Maid. And like Todd said, players like having that roof closed. They love the controlled environment.
Strike called. It's 1 and 2. A rare 0 for 5 last night for Jose Altuve. First time in almost a year. You have to go back to early May of last season against Texas when Altuve went 0 for 5. 4 for 6 in his career against his former teammate Tropiano. And he does not hold up on that swing. He goes around, says first base umpire Corey Blazer, and Altuve goes down on strikes.
Yeah, the hands broke. Barrel got out in front of the plate. It's been an uncomfortable 6 at-bats now in the last game and this game for Jose Altuve, something we're not accustomed to seeing.
Strikes out in his 100th at bat, 33 hits, so he's hitting exactly .330. Second on the team to this guy, Carlos Correa.
Being told that the roof adjustments here at Minute Maid Park are based on the JMI, the Julia Morales Index.
I thought you had a new StatCast figure for
it could be.
So the JMI is a little too high today.
It's too high today. Close the roof.
I knew she had power. I did not realize.
Oh,
she controlled the roof.
Yep.
Good to know. 1-0 the count to Carlos Correa. 9-game hitting streak for Correa, stepping in there. Batting .469 over that span with a .1266 OPS. JMI was not doing well on the last road trip.
Yeah, there is definitely, as much as there is a ceiling that you have to be above to close the roof, there is definitely a floor to it also. Amazingly close to the ceiling, though. He's in like 75 and 85. The low is 75.
Just a small window of comfort. 3-0 the count on Correa. The way he's going, you know, he'll probably always have the green light, but especially now, he'll be dangerous. Tropiano, the 27-year-old, delivers a strike. Eased up on that fastball at 87, just trying to get it in there.
That's something that Steve Sparks, our radio analyst, talks about too, is that sometimes guys just change the speed on their fastball a little bit in hitters' counts, and it can throw the hitter off. Just 2 or 3 miles an hour in a hitter's count, throwing a BP fastball, which is code for batting practice fastball.
Well, he drops one in there at 76 that Rivera didn't catch very well, but still got a strike.
Yeah, when you said drops, I thought you were talking about Rivera. But sometimes just that BP fastball can mess the timing up of a hitter and you get soft contact.
After being 3-0, it's now a full count. In the air, first base side, but it's going to drift into the stands by about 5 rows. Good crowds for this series against the Angels. Last night, 36,457. The previous night, 29,606. And last night's crowd, despite it being the longest game of the year, 3 hours and 48 minutes, they stuck around to the very end.
Yeah, for what we thought was going to be a pitcher's duel, ended up being an offensive breakout for both teams.
He gets Correa back-to-back strikeouts, getting Altuve and Correa to start this game. Both starters with a 1-2-3 first.
Justin Verlander, the fastball slider combination. Saw it early in that first inning, getting Justin Upton on that fastball slider combination. What he's done a good job at is kind of elevating that fastball up in the zone before powering down to get the swing and miss. But he has been highly effective with that combination, both against right-handers and really against left-handed hitters. That down and in slider, getting the swing over the top. But Justin Verlander continuing his dominance here in the major leagues.
It's been a lot of fun to watch. Verlander just rolls on as a member of the Astros. Pitching with a different catcher for the first time, but at least in that first inning, Stassi off to a good start with a 1-2-3 inning, getting Trout to fly out and Justin Upton to strike out. The one guy in the lineup with decent numbers is this guy Pujols. And this will take a tough play by Altuve. Long throw and out at first base. Marwin Gonzalez with the stretch. Pujols says you may want to look at this. Looked like the throw was there in time. Was Marwin on the bag?
That was the world's longest infield play ever. Broken off the end of the bat, kind of in between Carlos Correa and Altuve, but Altuve double pumps to make sure he gets a strong throw over there at first. And Albert Pujols is not a stat-cast speedster by any means. Great stretch by Marwin also.
He asked Socha to look at it.
Yeah, he won't look at that.
And Marwin said, no, you're out. He said, go back to the dugout.
No, you're good, you're done.
Pitch outside to Simmons. Andrelton Simmons had himself a ball game last night with 2 home runs and a career high 5 runs batted in.
Driven in half the runs in this series so far for the Angels.
Big Blast was the 3-run home run after the game was retied at 5. Gave the Angels an 8-5 lead. Bit of a demoralizing 7th inning after the Astros scored 2 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th to take the lead 5-4. Here's a fly ball to center. Springer says no problem as he backs up a few steps for out number 2.
Ooh, Baseball on Tap presented by Budweiser returns to Minute Maid Park this Friday. With a special ticket, fans can enjoy beer tastings, live music, games, and more. For tickets and info, visit astros.com/baseballontap.
Not only is it baseball on tap, but it's also a chance, and yesterday we had a few extra fans watching Shohei Ohtani. It's also a chance to see a guy who pitched a no-hitter in his last start.
Right. Sean Manaea.
Sean Manaea will make the start for the Oakland A's on Friday. Here's Zach Cozart, 2 outs, nobody aboard. The other way down the line, and this ball is going to drop foul. There was trouble if it landed in fair territory because that was a long run for Reddick. I like the Jose Altuve calmness, knowing even though he didn't have the throw originally, with Pujols running, he knew he could reset.
Oh yeah, mentally that internal clock kicked in, didn't panic. What you can't see a lot of times on camera too is that there will be guys screaming at each other. You got time, you got time. So I wonder, you know, if Carlos Correa reminding him. Altuve, like you said, knows the speed of Albert Pujols, but I'm sure Correa was probably mentioning also, you got plenty of time.
Well, he fielded it on the shortstop side, which Altuve's done it before, but that's still not usually where he fields a ground ball.
Yeah, that's a long throw. He may practice it, but it's still a long throw for Jose Altuve.
And while Pujols is running better than last year, as we mentioned in last night's telecast, he's still not up there on the StatCast sprint leaderboard. Cozart down on the count 0-2. Another foul away. Verlander making his 20th start of his career against the Angels. Called third strike inside corner. Cozart knew it. Second strikeout for Verlander. Only 9 pitches needed in that second inning. Astros playing the final game of a 3-game series, meeting for the first time in 2018. Here's Josh Reddick to lead things off against Nick Tropiano. Tropiano with a 1-2-3 first inning and delivers the first pitch to Reddick for a ball, 1-0. Josh hitting .393 at Minute Maid Park to start the year. Nothing new for Reddick. Led the AL in home batting average last year at .344. This year that average is good for third currently in the American League. A couple of guys above .400 at home as Reddick takes a strike. Just a minute or two before the game started, we mentioned the changes in the lineup recently in the last week or so for A.J. Hinch, with Correa moving out of the 4 spot up to 3 and Bregman moving down to 5 or 6. But that means Reddick or Gurriel has been in that cleanup spot. Josh has himself a good start right now. In addition to his 6 home runs, which leads the team, he has 15 runs scored and 15 runs batted in. It's really good production, not even 1/6 the way through the season.
It's a good point to point out that you're able to move these guys around that lineup, because you can insert a guy like Josh Reddick or a Yuli Gurriel. But Josh in that 4-hole has been hitting over 300, a couple of home runs, still getting some RBIs.
Well, Tropiano doing well in his start against his former team with 3 strikeouts, getting Altuve, Correa, and Reddick. The last 3 batters now will face Yuli Gurriel. Reddick had been 4 for 7 in his career against the former Astro. Yuli takes one outside.
Almost feel like he's lulling them to sleep early. There's not a it is a deliberate pace from Tropiano coming home. I mean, Rene Rivera is giving multiple signs with nobody on base.
There's a ball hit well to left field. Justin Upton's back, and he jumps and makes a nice backhand catch in front of the wall. Yuli smoked that to left, but he's out number 2.
Yeah, that ball was well struck, and that's what Yuli does. Credit Justin Upton for playing deep enough to be able to get back there and make that leaping grab.
Hardest hit ball of the day so far. It's out of left. Yuli's batted 103.7 miles an hour. Here's Alex Bregman. Bregman batting .345 in his last 7 games. Just had a scoring decision overturned from that Seattle series. We were waiting for that. Originally ruled an error on Kyle Seager, has now turned into a double for Alex Bregman. Should have been a double from the start, we thought.
All they need to do is have a score. They could be the scorekeepers and announcers. And have these delayed reactions on for sure hits. Alex has been slowly building that average back up after some tough luck those first week to 10 days. Takes a breaking ball for a strike. It's 2-1. Tropiano in his 2 starts has thrown 88 and 89 pitches. Just coming back from Tommy John, not getting fully stretched out in his first couple of starts. He was the 8th starting pitcher used at the time by Mike Scioscia. The Angels have now used 9 starting pitchers. And part of that has to do with the fact that Shohei Ohtani pitches once a week. The show effect. Tropiano making his 3rd start. Also started in Kansas City and at home against the Red Sox. On the ground, 1 hop. Cozart is there. Makes the play across the diamond. And the Astros are retired in order for the 2nd straight inning. We're through 2. Offense has been shut out on both sides.
Debbie Stropole. Remember to follow us on Twitter at ATT Sportsnet SW. We're talking about Justin Verlander. What's the most important quality he brings to the Astros? Is it his knowledge of pitching, veteran leadership, or maybe his tenacity, or just will to win? This is a good Stropole. Please vote. We'll reveal the results later in the broadcast. TK?
Yeah, that's good. There's a lot of great qualities to choose from for Justin Verlander. It's hard to argue with that competitive animal that he is and that tenacity and will to win. Because here's a game. Yeah, it's game 26 of the season, but Astros really don't want to have the off days thinking about a 3-game sweep. So while it's early, this is a team that looks like they may be a nice challenger in the AL West this year. Verlander realizes this is, even though it's an early season game, a rather important one.
Yeah, he definitely understands the game. He also understands the spotlight and does not shy away from it at all.
You put him in an elimination game in the postseason, it's almost automatically in your favor. There's a called strike. It's 2-1. He showed that last year in game 6 of the ALCS. Won the American League Championship Series MVP. Luis Valbuena, the batter, to start the 3rd inning. And he has a count of 2-2. Swing and a miss. Verlander picks up a strikeout after falling down to the count 2-0. Valbuena strikes out to start the 3rd. That's now 3 for Justin.
League leaders are presented by Houston Methodist. Most wins since 2006. Justin Verlander on top by a good stretch. 191 wins since 2006. Sabathia, Greinke, Lester, King Felix on that list. They are definitely looking up to the man right now.
Here's Cole Calhoun. Calhoun in a 1-for-26 right now. That one hit was a big one in Monday night's win for the Angels, an RBI single. Gave the Angels a 1-0 lead. It was the first run allowed by Garrett Cole other than a solo home run on the season for an earned run. Nice breaking ball dropped in there. It's 0-2.
Good grief. 80-mile-an-hour hammer.
Three pitches and a strikeout. Verlander has struck out 3 in a row, now 4 in the game. Needed just 20 pitches to get through the first 2 innings.
Broke out the changeup to get the punch out of Calhoun. 3 of the nastiest pitches so far today, I believe. Fastball up, got the swing and miss, and then he took the big breaking ball and then pulled the string on him to get the swing and miss.
Mentioned Calhoun is struggling, but he's sitting there right now thinking, man,
really?
Did he have to break out everything against me?
Yeah.
Here's Rene Rivera. Comes the fastball through the zone for strike 1. Well, Verlander versus the Angels last year. We mentioned his 3 starts overall. The first one came in May when he was with the Tigers and allowed 4 runs in 6 innings in Anaheim. But then pitched against them within a 10-day span. 8 innings, 7 innings, 1 hit in each start. So he's 1 out away from being 18 innings in his Astros career with 2 hits allowed to the Angels and not a run. 0-2 pitch just misses the upper reaches. That's close to a strike, and it's 1-2.
How do you think on August 31st, one of the final convincing thoughts that Justin Verlander said was, You mean I get to face the Angels over and over every year? I'm in.
Rivera pops it up. Stassi in foul territory. Puts it away. Verlander has gone through the lineup one time in perfect fashion. We are through 2.5 scoreless.
Toyota. Derek Fisher unloaded on one, bat flipped him about 425 feet away from home plate to dead central. Kind of got things going for the Houston Astros, and Brian McCann getting in on the action with his McCannon ball. These are guys in the bottom part of the order really doing a lot of damage for the Houston Astros. Trying to bring some of that joy back to that dugout by scoring some runs.
Well, it's good to see. It had been a struggle for the bottom third of the order. Started to pick it up a little bit in Chicago on that recent road trip, and then really picked it up last night with all 7 runs driven in from the 6 through 9 spots in the order. Marwin himself has had multiple RBI games in 4 of the last 7. And he's hitting .370 during that stretch. Off the end of the bat.
Last night, 2 for 3, couple of stakes. Did a good job in this 2-game series. That was a nice little drop shot for an RBI, scoring Josh Reddick.
That was a big one. It kept the inning going. He was down on the count to a hard-throwing reliever, Justin Anderson, and scored the run to make it 8-7. The bases were still loaded with 1 out. Astros wouldn't score any more in that inning and ended up losing that game 8-7. Marwin now up to 13 RBIs on the season. Tropiano made his major league debut with the Houston Astros on September 10th of 2014 in Seattle. Pitched pretty well in his first couple of games with the Astros. Ended up making 4 starts that first year. That was the same year he won the PCL ERA crown at Oklahoma City. Marwin hooks one and drove it far enough to be a home run, but foul. And then just about 2 months after his major league debut with Houston, Tropiano was traded to the Angels, and the Astros got a couple of catchers back, Carlos Perez, and we mentioned Hank Conker earlier. Swing and a miss. Marwin goes down swinging. Tropiano has 4 strikeouts of the first 7 batters he has faced.
I'm not sure if that's a shock anymore. The Astros have turned into a strikeout type team.
When Tropiano made his big league debut, his catcher in that game, in that night game in Seattle, was Max Stassi. Here is Stassi facing him. He takes a called strike. Yeah, we've seen some sluggish starts from the offense in the last. Even though they've been scoring more runs, it hasn't always been the first time around the lineup.
Coming into this game, 228 punch-outs. Sole possession of third place. And on the home run side, kind of middle of the pack, tied for 9th with 25 home runs. Angels are 1 behind the New York Yankees with 35 team home runs.
Stassi tried to hold up. He goes around. And Tropiano ahead 1-2.
Astros run on pace, averaging 1 home run a game as a team.
It's been a strange first month, not only weather-wise, but also pitchers just dominating hitters. There's never been a month with more strikeouts than hits, and this year the strikeouts way above hits. And there's another strikeout. Today we have 5 strikeouts from Tropiano, 4 strikeouts from Justin Verlander, and nobody has reached base in this game. Here's Derek Fisher. Fisher with a 2-run home run in last night's game, his first of the season. Went 425 feet off the side of the Batter's Eye restaurant in center, or Batter's Eye in center field, where he made a 4-1 game a 4-3 game. And in the process, hit the longest home run in the early career against Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani's 3rd home run allowed, but that was the furthest of the 3. Fisher also added a bunt hit, reached on a walk. He was on base 3 times last night. Dropping that slider or curveball in there. The Astros haven't been able to solve it. It's 1-1. Tropiano, first 2 starts, struck out a combined 9 batters in 12 innings of work. Today, 5 strikeouts in the first 8 hitters. Two and 1. The thing that's unusual about the Astros striking out as much as they have been, as Plummer gave you the numbers a moment ago, not only is it the team that had the fewest strikeouts in all of baseball last year, but they've also been striking out a lot against pitchers that haven't been striking out other teams quite as much. Mike Leake comes to mind, a guy who hadn't picked up many strikeouts and then struck out a whole bunch of Astros. So it's been a very strange start in that sense, with the number of swings and misses we've seen from this lineup.
Swings and misses in the zone, and they also take a ton of pitches in the zone to fall behind in some of these counts.
Fisher with a 2-2 count. Base is empty, 2 outs in the 3rd, and now the count runs full. Tropiano, drafted by the Astros in 2011 out of Stony Brook University. Third major league pitcher out of Stony Brook, Joe Nathan, Tom Kohler, and Nick Tropiano. Tropiano is off to a good start. He strikes out the side, getting Marwin, Stassi, and Fisher in that inning.
The top of the fourth, no score here, and a very special guest in the house today throwing out the ceremonial first pitch. It's Cara Mund, Miss America. We welcome you to the ballpark today. How was it throwing out the first pitch, and how did you decide what you were going to do out there?
Oh, it was remarkable. This is actually the first pitch I've gotten to throw out as Miss America, and it was something on my bucket list, and so I knew when I got to come here that it was coming true. So it was exciting. I didn't really get that much practice, and so when people say it was a great pitch, I was like, I don't think you saw it.
You did great. You did great. And for you, you're so busy. Is it nice to just be able to kind of sit and enjoy a baseball game?
It is. It is. It's, you know, it's a dream come true, but at the same time, I get moments like this that remind me of how great the dream is.
Great. And for you, I know Make-A-Wish Foundation is something very important to you. What are you currently doing right now?
Yes, so I currently am partnered with the Make-A-Wish Foundation as my personal platform and the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals as my national platform. And so I go to hospitals across the nation, I talk with the kids, I talk about their Make-A-Wish, but also their experience in the Children's Miracle Network Hospital. So I get to make wishes come true and miracles happen, so it's the best job.
You're doing a fantastic job. Enjoy the game today.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, guys, back to you.
All right, Julia, making wishes come true. One out in the fourth inning on the fly out by Ian Kinsler to left.
Isn't the bucket list talking to Julia Morales on an Astros broadcast? That should be the big one.
I think that would be on most people's bucket list. But good for her. Miss America at Minute Maid Park today. Here's Mike Trout. Flied out to left his first time up. And Verlander quickly ahead of him 0-2. Verlander first time through the lineup, 4 strikeouts of Angels hitters. Picked up 2 ground ball outs, 2 fly outs, and a pop up. This one in the air to right. Reddick is there. Puts it away for out number 2. First time Verlander's work with Max Stassi has gone pretty well so far.
Stassi's an interesting guy to watch behind home plate. He really puts an emphasis on being a good receiver, but there's so many things that go into being a good catcher, receiver, working well with these pitchers, understanding the psychology of pitchers, saying the right things to get them locked in, putting down the right fingers in the right sequence. But he sets up a very good target.
A little tapper to Verlander, who comes off the mound and makes the play. 6 pitches needed in that 4th inning. Verlander threw 4 in 38 pitches. This week on Astros Bases Loaded, Garrett Cole tells us why he chose UCLA over the Yankees, and we've got details on how Springer's formal seaside wedding turned into a dance party. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded Fridays before pregame and re-airing all week long only on AT&T Sportsnet. George Springer leads things off. We'll see Nick Tropiano, see if the Astros can figure out this Angels right-hander who started his career with Houston. Springer fouls one back. 6 strikeouts of the 9 batters faced by Tropiano today. His career high is 11 strikeouts. Inside corner, it's 0-2. In the air to right field, pretty well hit. Calhoun is back. He's in front of the wall, and he makes the play. Springer on an 0-2 pitch sent Calhoun to the wall and right. He's out number 1 in the 4th. Tropiano making his 3rd start at Minute Maid Park, and he has pitched well so far in all 3.
2 strikes on George. Maybe earlier in the count, drives that ball a little bit better, kind of in protect mode.
Here's Jose Altuve. Altuve striking out his first time up, takes a big swing, no contact, it's 0-1. Altuve coming into this game 4 for 6 in his career against his former teammate. All 4 of those hits have been up the middle. Tropiano's 2 previous starts at Minute Maid Park. First one came with the Astros in 2014, and then pitched against the Astros with the Angels the following season, both September starts. 9 1/3 innings, 1 run, earned combined in those 2 starts. Today he's retired the first 10 batters. Slowly hit towards short. Simmons has to hurry. He does, and gets Altuve by about a stride. Second out of the inning. Nice play by the Gold Glove shortstop.
Carlos Correa punched out on a slider down and away, just putting up the M.D. Anderson strike zone to give everybody an idea of what they're trying to do to Carlos. A lot of emphasis on that down and away. And Trope did a good job of staying down there. If he makes a mistake, it might be a different story. But to get through this lineup, you got to be hitting your spots, and he did against Carlos last time up.
Stays down and away and misses. It's 1-0. Correa during this 9-game hitting streak has an OPS of 1266. His season-long OPS is 956. Another one outside. It's 2-0. Last night we had the matchup of the American League ERA leader against Shohei Ohtani. Charlie Morton got the start for the Astros. Both starters ended up walking 5. And they both allowed 4 earned runs. Today the starting pitchers have matched each other the other way, where they haven't allowed either side anything. 3-0 count on Carlos Correa. That's where we were back in the first inning. Tropiano came back to strike him out after falling behind 3-0. This time, though, Carlos draws the walk. That's the first base runner in this game for either side. 2 outs into the bottom of the 4th.
Open the floodgates. Good to see a little offensive action from these Houston Astros. Tropiano missed badly on those 4 pitches to Carlos Correa with nobody on base. Didn't want to challenge him one bit. Now he's got a base runner on and left-handed hitter and Josh Reddick up.
See if Reddick can make him pay for it. Josh and Jose Altuve coming into this game with the 2 best numbers against Tropiano. Reddick had been on base 6 of the 9 times facing Tropiano previous to today. Carlos does have 2 steals this year, matching his total from last season already in the first month.
He's going to have to steal second, third, and roll. Get a run on the board.
The way the offenses have been.
Wow. Yeah. You know, Tropiano and his strikeouts, kind of interesting. At this point, thrown 121 innings for the Angels, 118 strikeouts. Almost a strikeout per inning for Nick Tropiano.
It's a lot. Guy doesn't throw.
Well, it's just considerable, because if you're watching the game like we are and you understand the velocity and the pitches, lives on the edges but does a good job of mixing it up. I think the pace he works at has a little bit to do with it, really slowing down some of these ABs. He's not really a grab it and go type guy.
Misses the edge to Reddick. It's 1-0. It does seem like he has to be fine with his stuff to get a lot of strikeouts. And he does. He puts the ball where he wants to and keeps hitters off balance. At least he did today in the first time through the lineup, striking out 6 of the first 9 Astros. In the Astros minor leagues, he did lead with Corpus Christi, lead the league in strikeouts one year. 6 straight out of the zone, though, from Tropiano. All of a sudden, After retiring the first 11 Astros today, he has missed with 6 straight. Seven in a row out of the zone. Rene Rivera trying to give him a little pep talk here. Yuli Gurriel hit a line drive his first time up. Hardest hit ball of this game for either side, and he is on deck. Two straight 4-pitch walks. 8 consecutive pitches outside the zone. Tropiano wasn't even behind many counts prior to that. And that'll draw a visit from Rene Rivera. Rivera playing with his 7th major league team. 2018 Astros Buddies memberships presented by BBVA Compass are now available for kids 12 and under. Buddies receive 4 tickets to an Astros regular season game, a backpack, cap, socks, and exclusive benefits throughout the year for just $25 plus tax. Visit astros.com/buddies today to sign up. Here's a breaking ball to Yuli that misses. 9 straight out of the zone. We're looking up the Astros swing percentage in between innings. They don't have to swing right now the way Tropiano's missing the zone.
It's a good idea to stay off the swing when the pitch is out of the zone. Just interesting to see how many times they don't swing on strikes in the zone.
Yuli actually took 2 called third strikes in last night's game.
Yeah, that's bizarre. Yuli is a guy who is a low walk, low strikeout type guy.
10 straight out of the zone. 2-0.
In zone swing percentage for the Houston Astros. They are 28th, only swinging 63% of the time at strikes in the zone. Red Sox, best offense arguably in baseball, swing 71% of the time. Not sure you want to be grouped with the Marlins and Rangers.
See if Yuli gets a mistake here at 2-0. Nope. It was a tough pitch, but a called strike, and Rivera got crossed up. So this will be another mound visit. It's 2-1. Rivera didn't receive this one very well because he thought it was a different pitch.
Yeah, that's not going to go on the framing artwork in the offseason. It's an umpire staying with the pitch. And I may have undersold Tropiano. I'm looking back at the numbers. It's 121 innings as an Angel and 121 punch out. So he is a strikeout per inning. Wow, good swing.
Fouls back the breaking ball.
Yeah, there was a little angst behind that swing from Yuli Gurriel. Hit a bullet his first at bat. Did a good job of sitting back on that slider. And it was the cement mixer right down the middle. You ever focus in on the hitter's face when they take a swing at those? Yeah, the eyes are big. The mouth was wide open. He was raging on that. That is a boring scorecard.
A clean one.
Very clean. Not much going on.
Inside, hits Yuli on the hand, and that's going to load the bases.
We hope that catches more of the forearm than the wrist. Get towards the wrist and the hands. That's when it starts to hurt a little bit. Jeremiah Randall, the trainer for the Houston Astros, out to check on him. Mattress Firm Supermo. Might have been the split that got away.
Little change piece.
Yeah, that was a funky rotation of that pitch, getting away from Nick Tropiano. Having trouble with command all over the place this inning.
Well, the Angels aren't afraid to visit the mound. Last night they ran out of mound visits, and today they have gone to the mound 3 times and 3 batters in this inning. So a 4-pitch walk, and now a hit batter loads the bases. Still no hits in this game for either side, and Alex Bregman, who grounded out his first time up, will bat with the bases loaded. AJ still a little concerned with Yuli at first. Alex Intron reminds him to take off the shin guard if you're going to run the bases. I catch both his elbow and his hand. It looked like he kept looking at his hand. Maybe a stinger.
Maybe, yeah. It's not a good feeling. 6 through 9 hitters in the last 5 games. Mike Scioscia's coming out to have a chat. These are good numbers. This is when that Astros lineup flipped a little bit. I'm wondering if Mike Scioscia was asking Gary Cederstrom if he'd be able to look down and maybe see if there was a swing. It's the only thing I could think of.
Why wait that long?
Had to get that mound visit out of the way,
I guess. Yuli seems to be okay. And the bases are filled with Astros. All with 2 outs. Correa on third, Reddick on second, Yuli on first. Bregman takes a pitch for ball 1. Lack of command coming out of nowhere for Tropiano after retiring the first 11 in this game. Two and oh.
Good time to hit. Bases juiced. Pitcher with command issues. Sit on that fastball right where you want it, right where you can drive it. If you get it, do not miss it.
Seems like Bregman's swings have been better and better every week this season. Hitting close to 350 his last week plus. Line drive, base hit over the head of Kozar. 2 runs will score. Yuli heading to third. He'll be waved around. The relay throw from Andrelton Simmons is cut off. Safe at third base. Bregman 3-0 Astros.
That's what I'm talking about. Hunt that heater in the zone and don't miss it. Alex Bregman. Quick study, and Nick Tropiano got that 2-0 count. Fastball missed by a good margin, and he turned on it. Good base running again by the Houston Astros. This ballpark, it's tough to get all the way to home from first base, but Yuli Gurriel testing both Justin Upton and Andrelton Simmons. It would have been interesting if that ball wasn't cut off, if there would have been a play at home.
That's why it was nice that Bregman decided to get aggressive and take third, because Valbuena had the play right in front of him and he saw a chance to get Alex. But meanwhile, there might have been a chance to get Yuli at home.
Well, I think you've got to make the effort with 2 outs to try and, unless it's 100% out at third base, you got to try and get that guy at home plate, cut him off.
Here's Marwin. A lot of noise in this building with Yuli trying to score from first, so possibly Rivera was trying to yell let it go, and Valbuena couldn't hear him because it might have been a close play. 25th pitch of the inning for Tropiano, who started the inning with a harmless fly ball and ground out. But some self-induced damage in this inning. 2 walks and a hit batsman. The Astros will score 3 as Kozar puts away the pop-up off the bat of Marwin. Alex Bregman makes it a 3-0 game.
Well, it's a good thing Carlos didn't have to steal second, third, and home. Instead, just kind of walked himself over to third base, and then the big hit from Alex Bregman driving in 3 to get the Astros on the board.
AT&T Sportsnet is presented by Rooms to Go. When it's time to decorate, Rooms to Go makes it easy and fast, all at great low prices. And by Ram. Hurry in and get a great deal during the Ram Spring Sales Event. Alex Bregman clearing the bases with a double, reached third on the throw. 3 RBIs on the only hit of this game, and the Astros lead heading into the 5th inning. Justin Verlander facing Albert Pujols, Andrelton Simmons, and Zach Cozart. 38 pitches for Verlander through 4 innings as he misses on the first one to Pujols. Albert grounded out into the shift his first time up. Altuve on the shortstop side making the play. Astros will use a more dramatic shift when they play the Angels in Anaheim with more of a left field area to cover. Correa goes back deep in the hole at shortstop. Today more on the infield cutoff. You'll see him in Anaheim about 10 or 15 feet behind that position.
Playing rover.
Verlander ahead 1-2 on the breaking ball.
It's pretty interesting to watch Justin go out and pitch. First 2 pitches in this AB, 91 miles an hour. They're going to be put up on stats cast as a cutter, but that's just a power slider. He throws his slider anywhere from 87 to 91 miles an hour. So it's interesting how those come out, but 40 pitches in this ball game, 41 pitches now, 30 of them have been the 4-seam fastball.
He's letting it eat a little bit today. You're right. During the World Series last year, people were wondering if he was throwing a cutter. But that was that 90-mile-an-hour slider.
That's the same pitch, just a little less velocity and a similar break. It's just it's not fair sometimes when a guy goes out there and has the same pitch with the same break, but can alter the velocity on it a little bit.
Verlander has command of the zone this entire game.
And he's gone with the hard sliders and then slow off-speed breaking stuff.
Pujols tries to hold up. Verlander wanted to check her first. No swing. So it's 2-2. Justin with his 4 innings so far today without allowing a run has that ERA for the season below 1 at 0.98. Earlier in the week, both Garrett Cole and Charlie Morton were below 1. High fly ball. Shallow left center field. Correa is back. Puts it away for out number 1. Well, coming into this start, we mentioned Verlander had only had Brian McCann as his catcher, and the numbers were impressive. 10 regular season starts, 8-0 with a 1.08 ERA, not to mention what he did in the postseason. But Max Stassi offers a little different style behind the plate.
Yeah, he sets up a very small target. We tried to talk about it earlier, and I appreciate you bringing that back. It's just interesting when you watch Max Stassi, and I talked to Steve Sparks again over on the radio side, him being an ex-pitcher and why Max Stassi is so appealing to some of these guys. And it's because he gets such a small target, and that's good for a number of reasons. He said he looks like a bullseye. Very appealing to the pitcher's eye, but he also does a very good job. As you watch the umpire set up behind him, he gives great sight lines to the umpire to see the pitch the whole way in. And again, there's a pitch that is not thrown to the spot, but Stassi does a good job of sticking it in the zone and giving a good eye line for the umpire to be able to make the call. It's very quiet back there, not a lot of movement.
No, that's a pitch, to your point, if it's not received well, could easily be called a ball. The catcher, that's the pitch right there that I like, where he kind of just eases that low pitch up, just ever so slightly.
He'll get his glove below the baseball and bring it into the zone. That is nicely done. I appreciate Maxwell giving us that example in back-to-back pitches and blocking that one for the strikeout.
Simmons is going to vacate home plate, so he will not have to be tagged as Stassi just made sure he wasn't going to try and run to first. That is a strikeout for Verlander, 5 in the game for Justin. And as you were talking about it, a perfect example of what Stassi is able to do as a framer of pitches. An outside pitch he caught for a strike. The One that was at the knees, made sure he eased it up slightly, and then he blocks a pitch in the dirt. Here's Zach Kozar.
It's only human nature for some of these umpires to react to movement by the catchers. A lot of times you'll see similar to that pitch where Justin Verlander didn't hit his spot. It was still in the zone, but Max didn't move his body. He just put the glove right where the pitch was going to be and stuck it right there. But if he moves his entire body and shifts, it may give that instinctual alert to the umpire that it must not be a strike.
And it's nice when you have a guy like Justin Verlander who can have about a 1 ERA with one catcher and then come out with the other catcher and do what he's doing today.
So you're saying the catcher has nothing to do with it?
No, I'm just saying it's nice to have a stud out there so that Max can show off those skills too.
Yeah, it's great when they're hitting their spots. Makes it that much easier to frame it up.
And I'm sure, look, Stassi's been around 5 previous seasons to this one. He's been up and down. This is his 6th major league season. By far the most at-bats he's already had in any one year. Today had to be pretty special for him, getting to catch Justin in a big league regular season game for the first time.
Yeah, he laying in bed last night. Probably went through the game plan or each hitter at least 3 times.
Shallow center field coming in. Springer, out goes Correa, and there's the first base runner of the game for the Angels. Softly hit flare into center field, found its way right in between the shortstop and center fielder.
Good pitch down and away where he wanted it. But even if you ask Justin Verlander, he may say he wanted that a little bit further off the plate, just enough to where Kozar could doink it out there in shallow center field for that first hit.
Garrett Cole retired the first 13 Angels in the game on Monday night. Tonight, or this afternoon I should say, Justin Verlander retires the first 14 Angels before that 2-strike hit by Kozar. Now here's Luis Valbuena. Valbuena with the Astros in 2015 and 16, played 222 games in an Astros uniform. He struck out his first time up.
And Luis leads the league in bat flips, no matter the result.
Flyouts.
Oh, flyouts, rollovers to second base. It's bat flip. Broken bat, one hopper to the pitcher, bat flip. Walk, bat flip.
He has 3 hits in his career against Verlander in 31 at bats. One of them was a grand slam home run. One of 3 grand slams allowed by Verlander in his career, and it's the most recent one, and it's not even that recent. 2011. Of those 31 previous at bats, 15 have been strikeouts, and Verlander even on the count, 2-2. 97 with the fastball.
Justin Verlander has thrown 4 one-hit games against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. The 2 most recent were the 2 last year in an Astros uniform. 8 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs. On September 22nd, 7 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs.
That little hit by Kozar shows you how tough it is to throw a no-hitter, because that was not hit well. Just in a perfect spot. Verlander in command, gives up his first hit, but strikes out 2 more. He has 6 on the day.
Use hashtag UltimateSWFanNTX on Twitter to show us, and you could win a VIP experience. North Texas, April is your chance to show your spirit, so tweet now and win big. TK?
All right, Julia, we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning, halfway through this one with the Astros leading 3-0. Just one hit for each side. Max Stassi will lead things off and sends one into right field on the first pitch he sees. Not far for Cole Calhoun to move for the first out of the inning. Stassi now 0 for 2, and that'll bring up Derek Fisher. Tropiano got himself in trouble with 2 outs and nobody on last inning. A 4-pitch walk to Carlos Correa, a 4-pitch walk to Josh Reddick. He hit Yuli Gurriel on a 2-2 pitch. And then Alex Bregman on a 2-0 pitch doubled into left field that scored 3.
Yeah, the command fell apart with the walks, the hit by pitch, and the strike that Alex Bregman got to hit. It was supposed to be a fastball away, ended up middle in.
Pitch to Fisher misses for ball 1. Derek getting back-to-back starts. Last night started in center field for the second time this year. Today gets the start in left with George Springer out of the DH rolling back in center. 2-0 the count. Keeps missing that outside edge. It's 3-0. Astros a much needed day off tomorrow. And a base hit on the 3-0 pitch off the bat of Derek Fisher. Fisher taking an aggressive turn, but Trout gets it back in quickly. Fisher seems to be swinging the bat a little bit here the last couple of games.
It'd be a good thing if he did. A little passive early on in the season, but now maybe giving up on that idea and becoming a little more aggressive. It's good to see, and I like the idea of giving him that green light 3-0 against a guy who's struggling with command. Get that fastball, don't miss it.
Here's Springer. George is flied to center and flied to the wall and right. Fisher a couple steals this year, 2 for 2 in the stolen base department. Stop by Rivera. It's 1-0.
Got a guy missing his spots like Tropiano is. You might as well go up there with that 2-0 mentality. Just go ahead and keyhole early. Focus on a pitch in a zone that you can get the barrel to, do some damage with. Ooh. Tropiano's got pretty quick feet.
Before he got injured in that 2016 season, that 15 season, he did have 4 pickoffs. Bueno wanted them to see if video will show anything definitive, and Mike Scioscia does not see anything. The finishing tied for second in the American League with 4 pickoffs in 2016, despite only 13 starts with the Angels. Well, Fisher will have to be careful, and he's almost picked off again with that throw not been in the dirt. That could have been another pickoff. Derek may have to shorten up that lead a little bit.
Interesting setup by George Springer. How about the comparison between him and Mike Trout? Very similar. That flat bat, hands up over the right ear, ready to attack. Something that caught my eye, and the guys in the truck hooked me up. That was kind of nice.
Second straight batter. Tropiano goes to 3-0.
What happened last time? Tropiano got a 3-0 count. Fisher hit a bullet up the middle.
He's had 4 3-0 counts to the last 8 batters he has faced. Went walk, walk, single. Now he's 3-0 on Springer. George with a 7-game hitting streak. His average on the season is .252, but he's hit the ball hard into outs more than anybody else, it seems. Yuli had some tough luck early, but George has consistently had tough luck, and now Fisher's out. Well, Tropiano used his A move to get Fisher picked off at first base.
Not a good idea to get picked off 3-0. Oh man, insult to injury. Got a left hook to the jaw. Mattress Firm Supermo is going to show it to everybody at home. Just in a 3-0 count. Yeah, George is staring at a 3-0 count with the possibility of a fastball that he could put up on the train tracks and drive in too. Every time.
High fly ball to left field, but he just got under this one. George just missed a home run as left the bat firmly, but he got under it. So the inning ends. Inning, Cole Calhoun will lead things off for the Angels, and Justin was nasty his first time against Cole.
Yeah, if you're a little bit squeamish, you may want to turn away because doors blown off, 95 up, power curveball down in the zone, and why not throw the changeup, put him away. It was good morning, good afternoon, good night. Not a comfortable AB for Cole Calhoun, but knowing that he's just saw 3 pitches in that first AB, see how he reacts in this second go around with Justin Verlander. There's fearlessness in Justin Verlander's approach to baseball. Just go after the strike zone. What are you trying to do, Justin? I'm trying to throw as many strikes with my awesome stuff as I can.
Puts one right on the inner edge for strike 1, and now gets strike 2 swinging. Calhoun in his career against Verlander is now 2 for 24 with 12 strikeouts. One of those 2 hits came last year against Verlander in his second start in an Astros uniform. It was the only hit Verlander allowed in 7 innings of work. 6 pitches in this game Calhoun has seen, and he has struck out twice. Verlander now with 7 strikeouts.
That was abusive. You're struggling, baseball's hard. You're struggling and facing Justin Verlander, baseball got extremely hard.
Here's what Verlander has done in his 3 starts against the Angels in an Astros uniform. His 2nd career start with Houston, first one came in Seattle, was in Anaheim. He allowed a leadoff double to Brandon Phillips and then got the next 24 outs without allowing a hit. 1 hit in 8 innings. 2nd start, his 4th start with the Astros, 10 days after that, right here at Minute Maid Park, the guy he just struck out, Cole Calhoun, got a leadoff single to start the game against Verlander. Then he went through the next 21 outs without a hit. So he went 8 innings, 1 hit, 7 innings, 1 hit, 1 for 24 game 1, 1 for 20 game 2. Today he retired the first 14 Angels until Cozart had that little flare hit into center field. And he's 1-1 on Rivera. He gets through Rivera. They're currently 3 for 61.
Oh my gosh.
Against Verlander in an Astros uniform.
Oh, welcome to the West.
3 for 61. Make it 3 for 62. Strikeout number 8. 3 in a row for Verlander and 4 in the last 2 innings.
I'm trying to think of words that we haven't used for nasty curveballs. Have I said yacker yet?
That's a good one.
I mean, that's a yacker, I guess. Just, my goodness.
Just dropped the hammer.
Off the tape. I mean, that was a very good curveball.
Here's Ian Kinsler. Just hitting every spot. 0-1.
Maybe getting something off the edge too with Max Stassi working back there. But that last breaking ball, it's great on that Mattress Firm Super Mode because it kind of shows it dangling out in front of the contact zone. And you see the swing of the hitter start, and then it breaks right in front of the plate and right below the swing. Give you a good idea when things are going right. That's what it's supposed to be like. And that's what makes it hard to hit those guys.
Two and 1 the count. Chop foul. It's 2-2. Kinsler is grounded out and flied out to left.
And that's the problem too. You face a guy that's exceptional on a given day, and even the mistakes. That was not a great pitch. That was actually a pretty good pitch for Kinsler to hit, but you've seen so much nastiness that it's tough to react to the hanging pitch out of the zone.
Oh, pop up, shallow right. Altuve out, Reddick in. It is Altuve with a basket catch, and Verlander through 6 innings so far. Only 1 batter has reached base. It is 3-0 Astros.
exclusive piece of jewelry from the Jostens World Championship collection, available at the ballpark and online all season. The collection features pieces for women, men, and children. And for more info, visit astros.com/thering. The piece of jewelry we're featuring right now is the clustered charm necklace. There's 4 unique charms, iconic charms, having to do with the World Series Championship. This runs close to $500, and you can find it in that jewelry store out in Union Station. But it's beautiful, guys.
It's very nice.
Vanna White over here.
Yeah, good hand model.
I wanted to take it off so I could show you the charms.
Very cool. You've been wearing that all day?
Yeah. I'm not good at modeling. Okay.
You're just fine. What are you talking about? Julia not only doing her in-game reporting today, but another pre- and post-game day for her.
Hey, Julia.
With the Rockets playing later on tonight. Crew and Julia have been very busy the last week or so. 0-2 the count on Jose Altuve. Altuve is at an 0 for 7 right now, which for him feels like an 0 for 30.
Feels like it to me, too, and watching him over the years.
Yeah, you don't see that
I'm
happen.
speechless right now.
He's been down in counts and just hasn't had a lot of high exit velocity contact recently. Still looking for that first home run of the year. 101 at bats in. Drives one deep to left field. That ball is gone. First one of the year for Jose Altuve. And the Astros lead it 4-0.
Even for Jose Altuve, that's got to feel extremely good. Hanging slider up out over the plate. Hammered to left field.
You know he's been waiting for that first one.
Did you see the look? I think he just walked over to Josh Reddick and said, okay, here we go.
Silent treatment.
You can't give Altuve the silent treatment.
He's celebrating by himself. He hates it.
He doesn't know what to do with himself. That was hilarious.
It's prolonged silent treatment. There we go.
That is good stuff.
You knew that one might be coming after going 101 ABs into the season without his first. But he handled it well. Ground ball foul. In typical Altuve fashion.
He's adorable. You can't love him enough.
Went through all the high fives by himself without anybody reciprocating. So it's 4-0. Here's Carlos Correa. Sunday Night Baseball 10 days ago, he was asked before the game, would you rather have 3 doubles today or a home run? And he said, right now, because I have 0, I'll take the home run. So that was 10 days ago. So you know he's really wanted to hit that first one of the season. 2-1 pitch is drilled. That's a base hit down the right field line. Correa making the turn. He has himself a 10-game hitting streak with a double into the corner. Tied for first in the AL with his 8th double of the season. Correa continues to hit the ball hard. A lot of those base hits during the 10-game hitting streak have been opposite field base hits.
There's been an emphasis on him going the other way. Seems like he's taking the fastballs the other way and trying to hit the off speed on the pull side.
Here's a ball towards the middle. Correa hesitated. Now he gets back to the bag. And Josh Reddick is retired on the ground out.
Altuve gets a hanging slider up around his neck and he hammers it. Almost looked like slow pitch softball again. The eyes widening. The recognition and finally throwing that barrel through the baseball with a good launch angle. Is anybody impressed? Nah, not really. Just one guy, pretty happy with himself.
I like how not only were they given the silent treatment, they were just going about their everyday business. Stassi and Jake were
ignoring him. Yeah,
we're talking about an energy drink and the rest.
Carry on.
Here's Yuli with a 1-0 count. Well, early in Altuve's career, as Altuve still, after the first pitch or two, still didn't have anybody coming over to him. And finally, Jake and Yuli break the silent treatment.
Still giving him love.
You know, early on in his career, 2 home runs his rookie season and 221 ABs, then 7, then 5, then 7 over a full season. So there would be no silent treatment because 100 at-bats in without a home run wouldn't have been anything shocking. But now that he's gone from 7 to 15, 24, and 24 the last 3 years, now you are shocked.
Yes.
When he goes 100 at-bats without a home run.
Absolutely.
But to his credit, that power surge the last 3 seasons, and especially the last 2 years, has not in any way, shape, or form impacted his batting average. 3 out of 4 seasons leading the league in hitting, 4 straight 200 hit seasons, and a big smile with that first home run. Yuli takes one close inside. It's 3-2. Eduardo Paredes warming up in the Angels bullpen as Tropiano gave up 3 in the 4th, another run here in the 6th inning, and he is approaching his high pitch count of the season. And with his 90th pitch, that is his highest total. Had gone 88 and 89 his first 2 starts. And he walks Yuli Gurriel. Mike Scioscia's probably not going to watch too much more of this as his pitcher recovering from Tommy John is now at 91 pitches, and Scioscia is out of the dugout and will make the call to the bullpen. So the former Astro Nick Tropiano, very good for the first 11 batters, didn't allow anybody to reach base, but then the Astros tagging 4, and he's responsible for the 2 on base as he leaves the game. We'll tell you about the new Angels pitcher when we come back. By Nissan. Clues today. He's number 1. Coffin Corner. Put me in, coach. Send your guesses to @ATT Sportsnet SW on today's Name That Astro. The first time through the lineup, Nick Tropiano struck out 6 of the 9 and didn't allow any base runners. Second time through the lineup, he allowed 2 base hits, a couple of walks, and a hit batsman. And now third time through the lineup, he's out of the game, and Eduardo Paredes is the new pitcher.
making his 6th appearance. His whip is under 1. The opponent batting average is very good. Down there in AAA, called up on Monday. You're going to see a lot of this happening for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim and their bullpen. They have been taxed, and they are going to use that shuttle in between Salt Lake and Anaheim. Paredes has a fastball around 93, 94 miles an hour, changeup and a slider.
Called up for the 3rd time already in the season, and a breaking ball. That slider misses inside to Bregman. Runners on first and second with 1 out. Correa on second. Yuli, who drew the walk, on first. Carlos double. And now Alex Bregman. Bregman with a 3 RBI double his first time up. Alex pushing that RBI total up to 10 with that bases clearing double. Takes a fastball on the inside corner. It's 1-1. It was a strange game from Nick Tropiano in that he retired the first 11, was in no trouble at all, and then all of a sudden lost the zone with 2 outs and nobody on in the 4th inning. Walked Correa on 4 pitches, walked Reddick on 4 pitches, hit Yuli with a pitch, and then Alex cleared the bases. First 11 batters, nobody reaching. Next 12 batters, 8 reached. Alex with a count of 1-2. Paredes strikes him out. First batter that he faces picks up a strikeout. That's 2 outs in the 6th inning. Meanwhile, Justin Verlander's had a long time to wait. Verlander has been absolutely dominant so far tonight.
He almost looks bummed he's not back out on the mound. Can't say that I blame him. If I had his stuff, I'd look forward to getting on that bump too.
He's only allowed a little flare single to center of the 19 batters he has faced. And 4 runs for the Astros the way he's pitching. Feels pretty comfortable. Here's Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin has struck out and popped up. The other thing with Verlander, his pitch count is in very good order. He's thrown a little more than 11 pitches per inning, 11.5 pitches per inning, 69 through 6. 51 strikes out of the 69 pitches.
That's aggressive.
Marwin takes a strike. It's 1-1. Marwin looking for his first hit. Struck out in the 3rd, popped up in the 4th.
Is that the abbreviated Craig Kimbrell?
Thinking the same thing. Built a little differently.
Slightly.
Ground ball foul. 1-2. Marwin's only faced Paredes once in his career. Does have a single. Astros trying to reclaim first place in the AL West. Last week, the Angels led by 3.5 games going into Tuesday's action. The Astros won 4 in a row while the Angels were losing 4 in a row. And that gave the Astros a half-game lead. They pushed that to a 1.5-game lead before the Angels won the last 2 contests. Here's a ground ball foul. Saw Brent Strom with a quick word with Justin Verlander. Not many people talk to Verlander on start day.
No, they sit over there, do your thing.
We'll be over here.
Yep.
He is as focused as it gets. The laser focus of Verlander on start days is impressive.
So you wouldn't go over there and ask him what he's doing for dinner later? No? Got any plans?
1-2 pitch grounded, just foul. It's funny to watch the dugout after he is told he's coming out of the game, because then it's like Lance and Keiko's like, all right, we can talk again.
Yeah.
Right? We've seen that.
Are we
before.
good? Can I come over?
Yeah.
We're good? Okay. Yeah.
You're out of the game?
Yeah.
We can chat again. But right now, nope. There's the rest of the starters. All huddled
They're
up.
still friends.
No, Jake Marisnik has a bat. Fisher's due up 2 from now, but Jake's on the top of the dugout steps with a bat and a helmet.
Fisher got tagged down on that 3-0 pickoff. It was more of a left hook to the right side of his face. Hopefully that didn't have an impact on anything that's going on. Gonna jam that right arm going back to the bag. Again, just speculating.
It's also a situation where the Astros are ahead.
Yep.
And they may put in Jake anyhow for defense. Fisher's still on the bench. So if you're going to put in Jake for defense, and if you're working with a lead, I don't know, even though it's a righty pitcher, maybe you're just trying to get Jake an extra at bat somewhere in this series. Because
somehow, some way, find a way to get Jake going is a very good idea. I agree.
Because Fish has had some good at bats in this series. And he had been struggling up until the Angels came into town. Marwin battling down 1-2, keeps fouling off 2 strike pitches. Takes one in the dirt, 2-2. Astros an off day tomorrow in the midst of a 10-game homestand. The Angels with a quick road trip here to Houston. They're back in Anaheim after this one. They have an off day tomorrow as well. We will see the New York Yankees over the weekend, while the Astros will welcome in the Oakland A's. And then after the A's, the Yankees will travel from Anaheim to Houston for the next 4 games. That one's out of play. It stays 2-2. Only one other game going on in the American League. The Mariners are taking on the White Sox. We had 2 more postponements yesterday.
It's amazing.
Up to 28 in the first month of the season. And I know we started the season in March, but I'm counting those 3 days as part of April. 28, a new mark, as long as they've been tracking that for the last 28 years. Marwin keeps battling, stays alive at 2-2. Be the 10th pitch of the plate appearance for Marwin Gonzalez coming up. Between the crowd that stayed late into the evening last night, a 3-hour, 48-minute game, and the sizable crowd for a midweek day game today, attendance is definitely taking a boost from last season.
No, I agree. Yeah, you got to remind yourself that it's a Wednesday day game in the middle of the week. School's still in. Some people are working hard, but I'm glad that some showed up here to the ballpark. It's good to see that lower bowl filling up, people in the upper tank. I like it. It says a lot about the ball club.
Yeah, it's going to be a big year attendance-wise. The common areas, the standing areas are always filled up. And
yeah, they are.
This weekend with all the giveaways, Baseball on Tap Friday and Strozone Friday, the fireworks, big and bright Friday nights.
Justin Verlander pitching. I mean, pick your starter if you want to come out and watch some good pitching.
Yeah, you get Keuchel on Friday night, Lance on Saturday, and then Garrett Cole on Sunday. Finally, the at-bat ends, and Paredes wins it, but Marwin with an extreme battle.
City got off to a great start. Jose Altuve had a 0 in that home run column until that home run. Hanging slider blasted out of there. Still adorable.
stroke hole. Thank you, as always, for voting, participating. We asked you today what's the most important quality Justin Verlander brings to the Astros. 50% of you are going with tenacity and his will to win. Veteran leadership coming in second with 38%. I like it. Can't really go wrong with any of those qualities.
Yeah, but I think the fans have noticed that culture changed a little bit with Justin coming over.
New center fielder you just saw, Jake Marisnick. They've gone with the Cupid Shuffle as we start
early.
the seventh. Cupid Shuffle is Marisnick to center. Springer from center to right. Reddick from right to left. Derek Fisher out of the game. Verlander will face Mike Trout to start the seventh inning. He's gotten Trout to fly out to right field 2 times today. Trout first 2 games of this series on base 5 times. A couple of stolen bases, a home run. Catches a corner, 1-2.
So if the Cupid Shuffle was 2017, would it be the Fortnite flop?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Flip?
Fortnite flip.
Fortnite flip?
Yeah.
In the outfield? We'll go with that this year in 2018?
That's perfectly played. From this point forward, we're going Fortnite flip.
Okay.
Called third strike. Trout
Wow.
goes down looking. 9 strikeouts for Verlander.
My goodness. 15 starts with the Astros. This does include the postseason, because if it didn't, it'd be 0 losses. But he picked up that loss in the postseason, but still put up dazzling numbers. 15 starts, averaging over 10 punch-outs a game. The whip well under 1. The opponent batting average at $160. And he came over here and announced his dominance with some kind of authority. Blew the doors off Mike Trout, by the way, leading into that graphic.
He has 19 outs in this game, and this will be his 75th pitch of the afternoon. And he just pours another strike in there at 97. Justin up and down to the count 0-2.
It's almost inning by inning. He says, well, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to throw a couple curveballs. I'm going to work on the slider. This so far early on in this 7th inning, he's just been pumping heaters.
And he is just a flare single away from owning a no-hitter at this point.
Or better.
Perfect game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a Cozart 65.9 mile an hour off the bat wedge shot into center field.
Should have made a better pitch. If Justin hears this, he's going to come and punch me right in the throat. But I'm just messing around. I mean, it was a great pitch, but to your point, in order for that to turn into a great pitch to turn into a hit, it only took 65 miles an hour off the bat.
Placed right between Correa and Springer, who at the time was in center field.
He was throwing 3 strikes for every ball in this game.
That works. That one's out of play. Verlander, the 3rd member of this Astros team that was facing the Angels with the top 3 ERAs in the American League coming in. Charlie Morton was 1, Garrett Cole was 2, and Verlander was 3. But that pecking order may change at the end of the day. Cole has flipped Morton in that ERA race, and Verlander will probably end up ahead of both of them, barring something from this point out. He's at 0.92 on the season now. There's a shot knocked down by Marwin, picks it up, beats Upton to the bag. Hardest hit ball of the day by the Angels, but right at the Astros first baseman who knocked it down.
Yuli in that DH spot, and that's why Marwin Gonzalez is such a luxury. He can move all over the diamond and still play a very good first base. Just kind of wasn't even a full swing from Justin Upton, using the velocity and his strength to shoot that ball over to Marwin, but does a good job of knocking it down and keeping his poise. And again, kids at home watching on our Mattress Firm Supermo, ball gets away from you, bare hand pickup, make the play.
prior to that AB, Verlander had allowed just one batted ball with an exit velocity of more than 92 miles an hour. And that was a fly out by Andrelton Simmons in the second inning that left his bat at 97. That one off the bat of Upton left his bat at 103.6. That was the first one of triple digits or more. And Albert,
the first one?
First one all day. The Astros, meanwhile, have 5 of those, plus Springer hit 199.4. 1-1 the count to Pujols. Fouls one off, and Verlander ahead of the count, 1-2. .82 pitches in, trying to get through the 7th inning. Tried to hold up. He does. 2-2. Pujols is grounded out into the shift to Altuve and also popped up. Previous 2 starts for Verlander against the Angels. We mentioned 1 hit allowed in each of them as an Astro. Struck out 9 and 6. And today has 9 strikeouts and 2 strikes on Pujols. That one's out of play. Part of the 29,777 on hand for a little Wednesday afternoon day baseball. First time all game long Verlander has gone to a 3-ball count. This has been the longest AB against Justin today. Counts 3-2 on Pujols.
Tell you what, these people in the club level in front of us better be ready, because I'm going to come my Justin Verlander type stuff on the peanuts and Cracker Jacks we're throwing out there. They better be ready.
That ball's hit hard towards the wall and over the wall in left field. That is a line drive home run by Albert Pujols. So Verlander's shutout is over. Just the second hit of the game for the Angels. And Pujols in a long at bat against Verlander finally wins that one. That's the first run allowed by Justin against the Angels in 3 starts with the Astros.
And of course it's got to be him.
Career home run number 619.
Low laser. That was that slider that he threw extremely hard. Stayed middle, didn't really cut across the plate. Albert dropped the head on it. He was late on a lot of the 96, 97 mile an hour fastballs.
Now Simmons. Currently number 7 all time in the home run department. Now up to 2,994 career hits. That ball's rocketed up the middle. All of a sudden the Angels with back-to-back line drives against Justin Verlander. Upton hit the ball hard. Pujols hit a home run, and now Simmons hits the ball hard. So after not allowing any high exit velocity all game long, 3 in a row off the Angels' bats.
Watch every out-of-market Astros game all season long live on your favorite supported devices with MLB.tv. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Here's Zach Cozart. He had the first and only hit of this game until this inning. A little flare single to center. He also struck out. Pitch up high for a ball, 1-0. The hardest 3-hit baseballs today have all come from the last 3 hitters for the Angels. 103.6, 107.7 off the bat of Pujols, and 98.8 off the bat of Andrelton Simmons. There's a strike. 1-1. First inning today that Verlander has needed 20 pitches or more to get through an inning. He needed 19 to get through the fifth. Up to 22 this inning. Just missed. 2-1. Second 3-ball count coming to two of the last three batters. Now the count's full. Justin's had to work a little bit this inning, about to make his 95th pitch of the game. Pitch number 26 in the 7th inning, and the crowd's going to try and get behind him to get him through the 7th. That ball's hit high and deep to left field, and all the way back is Reddick at the wall. Leaps, it's off the top of his glove and off the wall. Simmons will score. Into second base goes Cozart, and he has himself a double. It's now a 4-2 game. 3 consecutive hits for the Angels, all coming with 2 outs in the 7th. And prior to that, Verlander had allowed nothing except for a flare hit.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how things have unfolded. That was a pitch down. Cozart going way down to get it. Maybe catching it off the end of the bat. Reddick almost coming up with a great grab up against that manual scoreboard.
Just
not easy.
Just a few inches away from a great catch by Josh Reddick. Chris Davinsky starts to warm up in the Astros bullpen after Brent Strahm meets on the mound with Justin Verlander. Verlander coming into this inning looked like he could go, at least have the possibility of going into the 9th, but now a prolonged 7th inning with 2 outs and the bases empty. A home run, a single, and a double, and now the tying run at the plate in Luis Valbuena. Fouls one back. 97 with a fastball. Fly ball left field. Reddick comes on, still coming. He will get there and put it away for the final out. 3 hits, couple of runs. Justin's through 7, leading 4-2.
To you by GMC. Mike Trout out there in center field. The last season he was a -3 with the outs above average. Again, that is a StatCast number we have been using all season long to judge these outfielders. And Mike Trout, the perennial MVP contender, is a -3 and a -7 since 2012 in defensive runs saved. That's 80th overall. So if there is anything lacking, it might be a little bit of that defense. But that's nitpicking right there. Guy can still go get it. He plays a deeper center field than most. That's why you see a lot of his great plays being made on the warning track or over the wall. Coming in, not one of his strong suits. And if you had to measure up his arm against most center fielders, probably not one of the better ones either. But that's nitpicking. He's still an incredibly talented guy who's going to be a #1 pick in a lot of fantasy drafts at home and for a lot of GMs.
Every year it seems like he's first or second in MVP as Max Stassi leads off. Facing Eduardo Paredes, who continues on after pitching to 2 batters in the 6th inning. It'll be Stassi, Jake Marisnick, who entered the game last half inning, and then back to the top of the order. Paredes ahead of the count 1-2. Chris Davinsky continues to warm up in the Astros bullpen. Verlander needed 28 pitches to get through the 7th inning, and he's up to 97 in the game. So that might be enough on this day. Had he got the 97 differently with some efficient innings at the end, might have been different. But the fact that he's conversing with some other starters on the bench means it might be the end of Justin's afternoon. It's 2-2 on Stassi.
Yeah, that was an interesting inning because he was cruising so easily up until that 7th.
Called 3rd strike. Stassi goes down looking. Paredes has struck out 2 of the 3 batters he has faced. Jake Marisnick will get his first at bat. Jake fouls one at the plate. If Justin's day is done, which it looks like, 7 innings of 2-run baseball today, the same as Garrett Cole in the opener of this series. Called strike to Marisnick. It's 0-2. Jake during these struggles seems to have been down to the count 0-2 a lot. I'd say his day's done. Laughter and conversation.
Did great.
Another great outing against the Angels. Jake on an 0-2 pitch skies it way up in the air. Simmons gives it a look, but it's into the crowd. Justin will end the day at 1.36 in ERA. Garrett Cole's at 1.29. Charlie Morton at 1.86.
3/5 of your rotation under a 2 ERA is not too shabby. Go ball.
Jake deep to left field on the 0-2 pitch, and that ball's gone. Jake Marisnick. It's his 3rd home run of the season, and the Astros now lead at 5-2.
Turned into Jake Day. I'll tell you what, the Astros can get Jake from right farm back, it'll make that Fortnite flip a little bit more fun.
AJ knew what he was doing when he had Jake up there to pinch hit.
Wally Pip.
Here's Springer. Springer swings the first pitch and fouls it out of play.
Mislocation fastball, middle up. Jake did a good job. Catcher Rivera knew it too. Clapping those hands together, realizing he made pretty good contact. Lofted fly ball into the Crawford boxes. That feels good for Jake.
Called strike on George. It's 0-2. That was really the first loud contact we've seen from Jake in a while. Had that base hit in Chicago, but it's kind of a little flare into center field. Battling a 1 for 25 before that home run. George down on the count 0-2. Springer fly to center, fly to right, and a deep fly ball to left field. This one on the ground. Simmons, usually automatically short, and there's 2 away. The Astros' annual Bayou Bash Street Festival is this Saturday from 3 to 6 on Crawford Street. Bring the family out for crawfish, food trucks, games, and a live performance by the Bayou City Brass Band. Visit astros.com/Bayou or call 1-877-9-ASTROS for more info. A's are in town over the weekend. Here's Jose Altuve hitting his first home run of the year in his last at bat. Altuve takes the ball. Yesterday, Altuve had a 7-game hitting streak snap. It's 2-0. There's a strike called. It's 2-1. Paredes 31 pitches in. We mentioned last night the Angels came in with a tired bullpen. They used a lot of different relievers to preserve an 8-7 win last night. So they're going to let Paredes eat up some outs here today in a 5-2 deficit.
It's actually looked relatively good, except for that home run pitch to Jake Marisnick. A lot of sliders from Paredes, a lot of sliders from everybody coming out of that bullpen for the Angels. But Altuve would like to see another mistake right here.
Astros with 5 hits and 5 runs. And now Altuve takes one outside for ball 3. Altuve draws the walk. He's on base with 2 outs in the 7th inning. I'll bring up Carlos Correa. Correa extended his hitting streak to 10 games with a double his last time up. On the ground, Kinsler makes the play to first, and we will head to the 8th. Jake adding to the lead. It's now a 5-2 Astros lead.
Jake had his khakis on for this swing, barreling it up that 2-strike fastball for a home run.
Watch the Astros in more ways than ever before by downloading the new AT&T Sportsnet app from iTunes or Google Play, or visit attsportsnet.com to stream on your computer. Log in with your cable account and you're all set. Available for those with AT&T Sportsnet in their TV subscription. Blackouts and territorial restrictions apply. TK.
All right, Julia. Julia will get ready for the post-game show along with Preston Wilson as we head to the 8th inning in a 5-2 game, and the new pitcher is Chris Davinsky.
Devo coming out of that bullpen for the 11th time. Great ERA, great whip. Strikeouts to walks are very nice. A couple of saves on the season for Devo. Working in some of these high leverage innings. Had an inning in Chicago, only threw 16 pitches. Clean otherwise.
11th game that he's appeared in for the Astros. In the Angels bullpen, that would be one of the least used arms. The Astros bullpen, he's tied for the most appearances with Will Harris. Cole Calhoun, first batter he will face. They like Davinsky on lefties, and why not? He has had a lot of success against them. It's 1-1. It'll be Cole Calhoun, Rene Rivera, and then back to the top of the order for the Angels. Two and 1 the count. Justin Verlander goes 7 innings in his 6th start of the year. Leaves the game with a 5-2 lead.
9 punch outs. 2 of them were Calhoun on 6 pitches.
Into the shift. Altuve waits for it. Marwin gets back to the bag, and that's out number 1 in the 8th. Verlander has pitched very well in his 3 starts against the Angels while with Houston. Here's Rene Rivera. Rivera's popped up and struck out. This is the fastball. It's 0-1. Devo ahead 0-2. Rivera backing up Martin Maldonado this season. Last year played with the Mets and the Cubs. Also with the Mets in 2016. Tried to hold up. He does. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Devo gets him swinging. That's now 10 strikeouts for Astros pitching today, and 2 outs in the 8th.
And now it's time for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Justin Verlander was a man with a plan today, pitching extremely strong for 6 innings until that 7th, when things started to get away a little bit, but he was unbelievable up until that point. Fastball, slider, curveball, a couple of changeups mixed in there.
And 1 the count to Ian Kinsler. Well, Verlander could have easily had a perfect game going into the 7th inning.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, that string of hitters, Upton, Pujols, Simmons, Cozart, even though he retired Upton, they started to hit the ball a little harder against him. But
they got the barrel to him. A couple of pitches missed out over the plate.
But up until that point, that was the most dominant start of the year we saw.
Completely. Tough to argue against that. Just a little bloop in center field was the only blip on his game otherwise. It was amazing. Complete command.
And now Davinsky trying to get through the 8th ahead of Kinsler. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Verlander in his first outing with Max Stassi behind the plate looked very good today. Kinsler sends the ball deep to right center field. Pretty well hit. Marisnik on the move. Still in the move. Jake makes the catch in front of the wall in right center field to end the inning. Jake can cover a lot of ground out there, and he retires Kinsler for a 1-2-3/8 for Davinsky.
Jake brought the stick earlier. Now out there in center field covering some serious ground. A little bit better this time too. That's that nasty slider we saw, 87 and 91 miles an hour. Getting some punch outs on that, and also the blazing fastball. That was a changeup to Cole Calhoun. We saw a great mix from Justin Verlander, and he was in complete control for 6 strong for the Houston Astros. Really a lot of fun to watch this guy go out there every 5 days and do his work. Did a phenomenal job going 7 strongly, gave up 2 earned runs, 9 punch outs, and a great number for him is 0 walks.
0 walks to go along with all those strikeouts. Had 69 pitches through 6 innings, and 51 of them were strikes. Did have to use 28 pitches in the 7th, and that's why AJ went to Chris Davinsky in the 8th. 1-2-3/8 inning for Devo, including a nice catch by Jake Marisnik to end the inning. And here we go to the bottom of the 8th with Josh Reddick leading things off against the new pitcher for the Angels, Blake Parker.
Fastball at 92 miles an hour, curveball, and a split finger. He'll go fastball split against lefties. Use that splitter also against right-handed hitters. The occasional curveball mixed in.
Josh pops it foul. It's 1-1. With Parker's entrance into this game, we have seen all 8 of the Angels relievers in this series, including the Houston kid Justin Anderson in the first 2 games. Used 5 relievers last night. Ball's hit hard, but at the first baseman, Luis Valbuena. So Reddick lines out for the first out of the 8th. Time to name that Astro, brought to you by Nissan. Our clues were the following. He's number 1, Coffin Corner, put me in coach. Did you have Darren Erstad?
Of course you did.
It's a North Dakota day today.
Sure is. Miss America. What are the chances that Miss America knew Darren Erstad was from, or even knew Darren Erstad, I should say?
She threw out the first pitch, was interviewed by Julia.
One of the more famous North Dakotans.
Yuli fouls one back. Yuli's been on base a couple of times. He was hit by a pitch and walked, and also lined to left. Yuli with a 6-game hitting streak. Upstairs, it's 1-1.
I felt bad for a pair of shoelaces for a whole year when I was next to Darren Erstead. He was one of the more aggressive shoe tires I've ever met in my life.
Really?
Oh my gosh. He was intense.
Laced him up.
Man, ready to go. On the bench, sitting next to me. Fully laced up.
We talk about the intensity of Verlander on his start day. Was Darren Erstad like that almost every day?
Every day. He could be in the lineup or not in the lineup, and he was raring to go. He was fired up. But one of the all-time great teammates again. Now the head coach for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, where he was that kicker.
Ball in the right field, caught by Calhoun. So Yuli is the second out of the 8th inning.
The power play of the game is presented by TXU Energy. Alex Bregman in a 2-0 count. Said hunt that fastball. He got it, did not miss it, raked it down that left field corner with the bases juiced and got all 3 of those runs to score. Really the AB that broke this open for the Astros in that 4th inning.
And that's the difference. It's a 3-run game right now. With 2 outs in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Ken Giles warming up in the Astros bullpen. As Bregman pops one up on the infield. Giles will have to go through the 2, 3, and 4 in the Angels lineup with a 3-run lead. It's 5-2 heading to the 9th. On AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it. 9th inning baseball. Astros leading 5-2. The heart of the order drew up for the Angels, and the Astros go to their closer, Ken Giles.
Ken had a clean inning yesterday going against these Angels through 8 pitches. We've seen him be very efficient with the fastball, getting ahead early and then using that slider to put hitters away. 9 games he's pitched in this season, only 3 punch outs. But that whip is in good shape. 1 for 1 in the save department, trying to get one here.
Last night was able to get Kinsler, Trout, and Upton. He will face Trout, Upton, and Pujols in this game. Just the 2nd save opportunity of the season for Ken Giles. And the first pitch to Trout is fouled back. Had a little back discomfort in Seattle. Did not appear in that series, but since then 3 innings without allowing a runner in those 3 appearances. Trout 0 for 3 on the day against Justin Verlander. A couple flyouts and a strikeout looking. Giles ahead of the count, 0-2. In the air center field, sending Marisnik back all the way to the edge of the warning track. Jake makes the play for out number 1. Mike Trout 0 for 4 today.
Best fireworks show in town happens this Friday night after the Astros take on the A's. This week's Friday night fireworks presented by Occidental Petroleum is synced to Todd's new pop music.
Yes.
Visit astros.com/Friday nights for tickets. Nice of you to add that playlist.
Yeah, I'm sticking around Friday for sure. Check out how the fireworks sync up to my own music. Here's Justin Upton. Upton takes a slider for a strike. Upton hit the ball hard his last time up, but hit it right at Marwin Gonzalez. He was 0 for 3 today. Giles ahead of the count 0-2, just like he was on Trout. Swing and a miss. The wipeout slider for the strikeout. And that's 2 quick outs for Ken Giles in the 9th.
Something for this bullpen if they could get that slider working and get the confidence up from Ken Giles.
Last year, he was very good at Minute Maid Park. Just 3 earned runs in 32 innings. Here's a ball into right center field. George Springer cuts over, makes the catch for the final out of the inning. Ken Giles throws 7 strikes in the 9th inning and picks up 3 outs, getting Albert Pujols to fly out to end this game, and the Astros back in first place in the AL West with a 5-2 win on this Wednesday afternoon. They salvage 1 game in this series. Justin Verlander the win, Ken Giles with the save, and we'll have more right after this, including the postgame show.